Hi folks, it's Alex Klingelhoeffer from Exencial Wealth Advisors. It's 6:38 here in the middle part of the country. On Friday, it's March 19th, 2021. Here's your morning jog of economic headlines from around the world. We start off here in Europe, where nearly a dozen countries, as headlines say, are going to reuse that AstraZeneca vaccine. Of course, throughout the week, we've been talking about different European countries not using that vaccine because of blood clot fears. Now, almost 12 countries are going to start using that shot, saying, hey, the benefits outweigh the risks. COVID's a very dangerous thing. If there is some blood clotting, which I don't think there's really any scientific evidence to support that yet, we're going to go ahead and use the shot. So I think that's a good thing, getting shots in folks' arms. And here's going to be an add-on theme. We've talked about our theme being bifurcation. Hey, U.S. doing a lot better job than Europe with regards to getting folks vaccinated. Let me show you a couple other things that I think are quite interesting. So we talked about France, England, Europe, some additional countries going back using the AstraZeneca vaccine. Paris is going back into a lockdown for about a month. Northern France, Paris, they're having another rather viral strain of COVID. So they're going back into a lockdown. We're sort of getting down to brass tacks. Spring break, summer travel seasons coming up. A lot of the French economy, depends on tourism in the summer. It's sort of the cultural capital of Europe. You might say cultural capital of the world. They need to get the wheels going in their economy. They're locking back down. Keep in mind, U.S. now sharing some of that AstraZeneca vaccine with Mexico and Canada. We're starting to export some of that vaccine to some of our trading partners. We're going to do about 4 million doses to Mexico and Canada. Here's where I think it's interesting. Here's where I think it's important. Here's where it's going to affect the markets. Here's what we're going to see over the next 6 to 8 weeks. I think this is going to be a big deal. Let's take a look at the chart. All right, this is the US, this is Europe, 34.5 COVID vaccines per 100 people. Europe, about 12.5. So what is it? About three times as many vaccines. We've talked about this bifurcation, right? US going up, Europe sort of staying flat or not increasing quite as fast. As we extrapolate this out, and it doesn't have to be exponential, it can start to be linear, right, where we're doing 2.5-3 million doses a day. We've talked about it by April, late April, early May, etc. Everyone in the U.S. who wants a vaccine can get a vaccine, and I know there's some folks that don't, and that's their choice. But hey, anybody who wants one, I've had one, can get one. Okay, we're gonna have a massive amount of extra vaccine that we don't need. Where do we send it? How does that work into future trade deals? I think it's going to be a huge thing. There's going to be vaccine diplomacy. Who do we give these vaccines to? We mean the U.S. government. Who and what do we tie to that? That's going to be a huge thing. It's going to shape the economic picture for the next 3 or 4 years, because it's going to dictate which companies reopen, which suppliers back to the U.S. economy now can have a greater reopening. It's going to be a huge deal. Who gets that excess U.S. vaccine, when they get it, and how the government structured it. I think it's a huge thing. They're probably already talking about it in the White House, and I can't tell you what I think. We talked about, hey, this bifurcation is a big deal. I think the vaccine diplomacy is going to be that next logical shoe to drop. And as we head into the weekend, the NFL got a new deal. It's going to be more than $100 billion with ESPN, with Amazon. They finalized all their rights. Kicks into 2023. Huge numbers. Over the life of the deal, something like $39 million per game is going to be the price the NFL gets. It's just a massive contract, and Amazon's getting a big piece. They're paying about $1 billion per year. Of course, they started their streaming service of those NFL games a couple years ago. Amazon up just a tad here in the pre-market. Tech had a sort of a rough day yesterday with all the bond yields going up. But hey, NFL, new deal. They've got those non-fungible tokens coming up. NFL, I think Patrick Mahomes, he sold some of those NFTs for like $3 million. Crazy the ways you can make money these days on collectibles. Anywho, that's all I had for this morning. If you want some additional information throughout the day, feel free to follow me on Twitter. It's OKC CFA CFP. Until then, I hope you have a good weekend. I'm out.